welcome to So Many Whatnots. I'm Willow, and this is my series on how to make the Farmer's Wife 1930s sampler quilt. Today, we are working on number 39, Grandma. So I think we've done Grandmother, and we've done Granny, and now we're doing Grandma. So I have my fabrics picked out, and they're super cute together, but they're also like quirky. I don't know. They don't clash per se, but they kind of look like they do. All right. Here's number 39, Grandma. And I'm super excited to make this. And I used as close to fabrics as I could. My pink resembles the pink. My cream print is totally different, but I didn't have anything even remotely similar that would match the green and pink. So I picked the one that did. And then for my solid, I am actually using a pin dot, but it's about the same color. So this one's going to be very similar to the book. I'll put that on my book stand here. All right, let's get cutting out the pieces. There's quite a few pieces for this. Let's see, 24, 26, 28. There's 30 pieces. And so this is going to be a longer video just because it takes so long to cut them all out and sew them together. But it is a fairly simple block. It's not too difficult. There's no weird pieces. They're all triangles. So let's get started. And I hope these are big enough for this triangle. Sometimes the bigger triangles don't fit on these jelly rolls. But you should have two templates, an A and a B. It looks like they'll fit. Sometimes I forget to check before I pick my fabrics out. All right. So let's start with the green, and that has the least number of pieces. And we're going to do 2 of A, the big triangle, and 4 of the small triangle. So I'm going to trace those out and cut those out. And then I will be back and we will do the next 2 pieces. Okay, here we go. well, that was pretty quick. We have our green pieces cut out. Now we're going to work on the cream and the pink, and they both get the same number of pieces. So we have 2 of the 39A triangles and 10 each of the B triangles. And so this is the part that's going to take a while to get done. But I'll just put on some music and enjoy. Here we go. pieces cut out, and now it's time to arrange them. So I'm gonna move them off the board. My board has so many fuzzies on it. I rolled it once, but then it got all these, like a lot of the stuff came up. So I'm just gonna leave it now. And it looks like sprinkles. Okay, so I like to start in the corners. So let's start there. We are going to take 4 pink and 4 cream small triangles, and we are going to lay them out into another triangle like that. And you can overlap those because those will be one of the first things we sew together. All right, and then I'm just gonna turn my board. I find it so much easier sometimes to keep everything straight if I just turn the board as I go. So let's put those there. I think I grabbed too many pieces. I did. All right. Let's see here. Okay. We have that done. Now we are going to do the center edge. And so we are going to, we'll start at the top. And I may need to adjust these, but one of each of the colors, and then just overlap those as well. Let's see. Okay, right like that. And we'll turn the board and do the same thing. Nope, I did that wrong. See, I turned the board and I still did it wrong. Oh boy. Alrighty, there we go. Let's do that 2 more times. I love this green. It's such an olivey, outdoorsy something. It's something. I really like it. All right, 1 more here. All right. Now let's work on the center. So we have, okay, so these pieces all get sewn together like this. And then we'll do a 4 patch in the center of 2 half square triangles and 2, I can't think. More triangles. It's all triangles. Okay, so let's take this pink one here and put it with a white and do the opposite diagonally. Okay, our 2 half square triangle blocks, mini blocks, units, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and then we're going to take these 2 green and put them right like that. And then we are going to do what we did on the outside and just leave a small gap here because we will sew these together. But first I have to get them the right direction. Okay, so we'll sew these together and then we'll make that whole square unit. And then this goes here. So just leave a small gap, but also leave them together. Okay, let's see here. Oh, struggling this morning a little bit. Okay. All right, so this is what your board should look like right now. And I think we're going to start with the center blocks today. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to work on these 4 blocks. And so first we are going to sew these together right here, these 2. So we'll draw our seam on the back of one of these, fold them over, pin them, sew them together, and then press them open. Okay, and then we'll come back and sew these 4 units together. All right, here we go. those two done, now we are just going to make our squares in the middle. So how we do that, we draw on one side and flip it over and sew that together. We'll do the same for these as well. Just line up your triangles really well. You have your curved edges here, you have your points here, lots of places to line up. And we will just sew those together. Okay, here we go. I pressed them to the dark side this time. I hope that works out. But I like to um press away from, stuff like this. So you have like this triangle, and to open all these things, it's just kind of a pain. And so if I can get away with it, I like to press, you know, you'll see it better when we do these because I will press away from the center just to keep that nice center. It's a little confusing. So for these, I press toward the green, and these I press toward the pink. So hopefully that works out. Okay, so we're going to finish up this center square unit before moving on. It's been about 50 minutes, and so we're going to finish this, and then I'm going to take a short break, stretch out my hands, and come back to do the border, the outside border. So yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put these two together, and then squish them together and make a center square. So I seem to have lost my marker. There we go. All right, so I'll draw on one side of here, flip over, sew together. There's nothing you need to be worried about as far as lining anything up other than just making sure your squares are lined up well. And then I'll come back. I'm not sure how I'll press those, probably open. I'm not sure yet. But once these are together, I'll come back and draw a line on one side and then flip that and sew that together. Okay, so let's get these 3 seams done, and then I'll be back. are done. I did press those seams open, all of them. And this will definitely need a good press at the end with the iron. But yeah, that's cute. That's cute on its own. You can make a bigger version of just that. All right, I'm going to take a short break and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I am back and we are going to get this block finished, hopefully. So what we're going to do first, you have two options. You can work on these units or you can work on the corner units. So I think what we'll do is start with the corners and then we'll work on these. Okay, so all we're going to do is sew these corner pieces together. All right, just like that. And then I will probably press these open. Yeah, I think I'll press them open. I'm not for sure exactly, but let's do that. Okay, so just draw your line on the back, flip over. So we're going to do all four of those and then I'll be back. Here we go. Okay, friends, we have those corner units done, and now we're going to work on these side units. And so we need to get both of these onto the centerpiece. So what I'm going to do is start with one. Let's start with the green. And we are going to sew that on first. Now, when we line these up, they're going to be a little off. You want to get that rounded corner lined up with that edge, and then this rounded corner lined up with that edge. So your little corners here are going to stick out a little bit, and that's okay. So we're going to sew it together like that, and then we will press it, and I will press toward the green on this so that triangle on the back stays nice. And then I'll probably do these and then come back and we will put these on. So let's start with the green and get those all lined up and sewn on, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are getting so close. Let's finish up these side pieces. We're going to do the exact same thing. We are going to draw our quarter inch seam allowed on the back on this side. We're going to flip that up. And we are going to line up as best we can, just like we did on the last one. Okay, so it should look like that. And we have 4 of those to do. Here we go. are finished sewing the individual units together, and now we are going to sew the block together. So we have the center unit, and what we're going to do is we're going to sew the top and bottom together, and then we'll sew these sides on, and then we'll sew on the 4 corners. Okay, so let's start with the top and bottom. You could also start with the sides and then do the top and bottom, but I would like to do the top and bottom. So that's how we're going to do it. All right, so we're going to draw our 1/4 inch seam allowance on the back. We'll flip it up. We're going to line up these curves on the corners there and sew across. And then we will press that. Well, we'll press it. I'll probably press that open. And then once I do that, I'm going to come and sew the sides on, also lining up the corners well. Okay, so I'm going to do these 4 seams, and then I'll be back and we'll sew the corners on. All right, here we go. got a really big knot there that would have taken a while to get rid of. But I didn't want to rip out all my stitching. So I went back and I did pull out the stitches back to my last double stitch. And then I just tied a little knot there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back just a little bit. Make sure I tied a knot. Sometimes I start and I'm like, I haven't even tied the knot. So that's right here. I'm actually just going to go right back here and start just a little bit back. I'm not sure how most people deal with that, but this is how I am doing it. So I just went back and I'm just going to continue on. And I feel like that's a better way than ripping out the entire stitching, especially, you know, if you just go back to where you have that extra anchor stitch, it should be fine. All right, well, let's continue. I'm just going to press these open and see what happens. I can always change it with the iron later on, but I know there's going to be a big bit right there. Yeah, I'm really feeling pressing these open, so that's what we're doing. Or not open, but out. I'm pressing them out. All right, and I may actually have to take an iron to this before we're finished, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we have those two on. Now we're just gonna sew these two sides on. All right, here we go. And so I am just plugging in my iron here quick, and it's just really flippy, and that's really difficult to work with. So we're just gonna give it a quick press here. So hopefully that helps it out a little bit. My iron's not quite hot enough yet. Now it is. I don't usually get my iron out for these, but yeah, this one's kind of an exception here. All right, that is better. And I will leave that out, not plugged in, but I'm going to leave it out because I feel like we're going to have to do that again. Now, we are at 50 minutes again, and our other one was just over an hour, I believe. But we're almost finished, so we're just going to keep going. Okay, so let's see, it goes this way. Our last step is just to sew these corners on. And so I'm going to draw my line on the small triangle, flip that up, line it up real good there, and sew across. And I'm going to do that on all four. And then I will probably press those also. So I'll be back shortly. Here we go. I think this might be one of my favorite blocks. I absolutely love these colors. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm actually gonna press these out the way they want to go. I'm just gonna do a quick on the back here, and then I'll flip it over and do that. All right. Normally I would do this after we're finished, but it would like to be done right now. So, all right. That should be good enough for now. Let me unplug that. Get our little board back here. All right. Oh, I love these colors. Absolutely love these colors. Super cute. Big fan. I think we did a great job on this one, guys. That'll look really nice set in there like that. I love how this looks like it's moving in a circle here, the green. All right, let's check our size and then we will be done. All right, this one is just, I feel like it's just a hair small, maybe right here, maybe like a millimeter. Let me move that out of the light. You can see just down here, it's just a little small. Nothing that is going to affect the quilt as a whole. And I can easily just adjust that. When it's so small, it will just kind of like stretch out a little when we put the, when we set it in and put those triangles on. It's like a millimeter. It's just gonna stretch out just a hair. So I am not worried about that, and we are gonna call that good. All right, we are finished with number 39 Grandma, and I'll see you back for the next one. Bye.